Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Amita Balachandra. We're starting off with some tragic news that's coming. As of 8 p.m. this evening, 12 coaches of Guwahati Bikaner Express derailed in North Bengal's Moinaguri today. According to the Indian Express, officials have said that three bodies have been recovered, several have been injured, but more casualties are expected. Now, the incident took place near the Domohoni region of Moinaguri. The DM of Jalpaiguri, speaking to the Indian Express, has said, and I quote, so far, we have recovered three bodies. 12 persons are being rushed to the hospital. All the nearby hospitals have been asked to be prepared. End quote. A high level investigation has also been ordered into this incident. Now, taking to Twitter, West Bengal Chief Minister has said, and I quote, deeply concerned to hear about the tragic accident of the Bikaner-Guwahati Express in Moinaguri. Senior officers of the state government, DM, SPIG, North Bengal, are supervising rescue and relief operations. Those injured will receive medical attention as early as possible. End quote. Railway Minister has also tweeted that he's personally monitoring the situation for swift rescue operations as well. We bring you updates on this story as and when we get them. Moving on to COVID updates right now, India has reported over 2.47 lakh new COVID cases and 380 deaths as of today, the highest single day rise in the ongoing wave. Now, the active cases are now over 11 lakh, and the daily positivity rate has risen to 13.11%. Now, Mumbai has reported 13,702 new COVID cases, slightly lower than what reported yesterday. West Bengal has reported 22,155 new COVID cases, and this is as of yesterday. Delhi has reported 28,867 new COVID cases, which is as much as what it had reported yesterday, slightly higher. The positivity rate is at 29.21%, and Delhi has been reporting more than 20,000 cases the last couple of days, which is a bit worrying. Prime Minister Modi today, in fact, chaired a review meeting with the chief ministers of all states to take stock of the COVID situation in the country. Today's meeting comes a day after the Union Ministry of Health flagged a sharp increase in COVID cases and also flagged some serious concerns. This is the second review meeting that the Prime Minister has taken within 1 week. The Prime Minister has said, and I quote, our preparation should be ahead of all variants of COVID. After we tide over Omicron, we have to make preparation in place to fight other variants of the virus as well. And in this, states will cooperate with each other, end quote. He also stressed a lot on local containment strategies as this review meet was with different chief ministers as well. Meanwhile, India's Omicron tally has now reached 5,488, and this is the highest ever single day jump of 620 cases of the variant across the country. Maharashtra continues to report the highest number of cases of Omicron at 1,367, followed by Rajasthan at 792. Also, an interesting note that came in from the WHO, the WHO's COVID technical lead, Maria Van Kerkhove, has said that the phrase Deltacron, and a lot of that has been talked about on social media recently, which suggests that people have been infected with both Delta and Omicron variants of COVID-19. This is what the WHO said. The WHO said this is not really a thing. She went on to say that the Deltacron might be a result of contamination that occurred during the sequencing process. She, however, clarified that it is possible for a person to be infected with the different variants of SARS-CoV-2. She also said that there have also been examples of co-infection in which individuals were infected with both the influenza and COVID-19 throughout this pandemic. Moving on to some political news, because there's a lot that's been happening of that lately, starting off with Karnataka Congress, which has temporarily withdrawn its 11-day Padayatra to demand the Mekedatu project across the Kaveri River. Now, the withdrawal of the Padayatra, which began on Sunday, in fact, comes after several Congress leaders and workers tested positive for COVID. Leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, who had in fact launched this march, has tested positive for the virus. Former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, speaking to the press, has said, and I quote, "We are withdrawing this march for now, and we will continue our agitation once the COVID-19 situation in the state is under control." End quote. Now, according to the Indian Express, the decision to withdraw this march came after many of the senior leaders, including former Chief Minister S.N. Krishna, Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai, and many others wrote letters to D.K. Shivkumar, who is the KPCC president, and former Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, as well. So there was mounting pressure. In fact, yesterday, the Karnataka High Court pulled up the Karnataka government and also issued a show cause notice to the Congress over the Mekedatu Padayatra, asking how it could even be allowed amid the current COVID situation. Meanwhile, in Kerala, CPIM held a thiruvathira, which is a traditional dance by women, in the state capital on Wednesday, wherein hundreds of people participated. And this comes despite COVID restrictions, where Kerala has said that not more than 150 people can attend outdoor meetings or events. Now, the Parasala police has registered a case against a district panchayat member, who's also the health standing committee member, and 550 women performers for organizing this event. On to UP elections now. In the third successive major blow to the BJP in Uttar Pradesh, senior OBC leader Dharam Singh Saini has resigned as minister in the Yogi Adityanath government, accusing it of neglecting both people and elected representatives of the Dalit and OBC communities. Meanwhile, there have been other deflections as well. Mukesh Verma, UP BJP MLA from Firozabad, Shikohabad, also resigned from the primary membership of the party on Thursday. Until now, a total of 8 MLAs and 3 ministers have resigned from the party. Also in the news, S Somanath, the rocket scientist serving as Vikram Sarabhai Space Center director, has been appointed as ISRO's new chairman. Now, Mr. Somanath led the integration of PSLV during the early phases and played key roles in the GSLV Mk3 project and Chandrayaan-2 mission as well. Also in the news, there's been a joint statement that India and China have issued as of today. The 14th round of India-China military talks that took place yesterday failed to yield any positive outcomes, but both countries have now decided to work towards mutually acceptable solutions to resolving the Ladakh LAC standoff. This is something that has been happening in the previous military talks as well. So this time there's been no breakthrough again. According to the Hindustan Times, the next round is expected to be held soon to continue the momentum of discussions. Now, the two sides issued a joint statement on Thursday saying that they would consolidate earlier outcomes and stay in close contact. On to news coming in from across the world right now. Updates on Kazakhstan. Kazakh authorities have said that they've detained nearly 1,700 people in the past 24 hours over their alleged participation in the January 2nd violent unrest. Now, the additional arrests have brought the total number of arrests, and this is according to Al Jazeera, to about 12,000 since the 2nd of January. More than 300 criminal investigations, including into alleged assaults on law enforcement officers, have also been opened. Now, protests initially developed against rising fuel prices, but then turned into anti-government demonstrations. Now, in the meantime, Moscow has said as of today that over 2,000 Russian troops have begun withdrawing from Kazakhstan. Also in the news, US President Joe Biden's administration has imposed sanctions on 6 North Koreans in its first response to Pyongyang's ballistic missile tests. Now, the sanctions also targeted 1 Russian and a Russian firm Washington said were responsible for procuring goods for the programs from Russia and China. US Treasury Department had said that North Korea has conducted, and I quote, 6 ballistic missile launches since September, including 2 since last week. On to sports news right now. Several players have tested positive for COVID. 7 players, including Kidambi Shrikant, have tested positive and have withdrawn from the India Open event. And this is according to the Badminton World Federation, which has issued a statement, and I'm quoting from that statement. It says, the players returned a positive result to a mandatory RT-PCR test conducted on Tuesday. Doubles partners deemed close contact of the 7 players have also been withdrawn from the tournament. The players will not be replaced in the main draw, and their opponents will be given a walkover to the next round. End quote. And one piece of good news before we wrap up this bulletin, which is also happens to be sports news. 16-year-old shuttler Tasnim Mir has become the first Indian to grab the world #1 ranking in the under-19 girls singles in the latest BWF junior rankings. Now, she achieved the feat after securing titles in 3 junior international tournaments to jump 3 places and grab the top position in the junior world rankings. Now, according to PTI, Tasnim Mir said, and I quote, I can't say that I expected this. I thought I would not be able to become #1 as tournaments were getting affected by COVID, but I won 3 events in Bulgaria, France, and Belgium. So I'm really excited and happy. And finally, I could become the world #1. It is a great moment for me, end quote. And that is really one piece of good news. So congratulations to Ms. Mir. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.